What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the house. My name is Joshua Connett, and I'm joined by my co-host from Talk Show U, Jacob. What's up, Jacob?
Not much. How's it going?
Pretty good. And we
That's
got
good.
Dom as well to the house. So how are you, Dom?
Hello, guys.
Pumping out those hockey podcasts, right?
Sort of, kind of.
Sort of.
Sort of. Sort
Yeah,
of.
me and Jacob had a decently rough July. So, other than that,
Yeah. Me and
yeah.
Jacob have had a rough few months with Talk Show U, so it's all
Whoa,
right.
whoa,
I
whoa,
feel you.
whoa, whoa, whoa. We won't get into that.
Okay, to that, but episodes will be coming soon. If anybody's looking forward to those, you guys can find those soon. We were going to record tonight. It's a bit of a late night, so we'll probably just do it Wednesday. So expect it this week. But we're going to get right into it. Division previews. We've got AFC North up first. I think this was definitely one of the more competitive divisions as of last season, just how close it ended up. You had the Steelers at the top, obviously win the division at 12-4. Ravens and Browns tied 11-5. Ravens get the tiebreaker. The Bengals were obviously far behind 4-11. So what do you guys just think about generally this division going into this season? Jacob, you go ahead and go first.
Personally, I think this might be the most competitive, division in the league. To be honest with you, I think it's kind of a weird situation. The Bengals, I think, will end up being at the bottom, but I think across the board, it's going to be Browns and Ravens at the top. The Steelers are going to be decent because they have been, and it's like, they're not going to be bad, and they're going to have a defense. And then Bengals, hopefully, they do well. Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow's good. We know that, but that offensive line, obviously, with his injury from last year, we'll see. I guess what they do with that, but I think it's a great division overall.
Definitely. Dom, what do you think about it?
I think Jacob's right. I mean, this is an incredible division. I mean, you have the Browns who have reinvented themselves from what we've known over the past 2 decades of them to be. I mean, they're up there. The Ravens, I don't know what the Ravens are going to be this year. I don't know if they take a little bit of a step back, but you got to think they're still going to stay double-digit wins. Pittsburgh was 12-4 last year. You got to think they're going to probably stay up there. They're kind of like a little bit of a wild card to me, I guess, because I just don't know if they're going to do what they did last year. And Cincinnati, they're getting there. They're not going to be in talks for playoffs, I don't think, but this is going to be a big year for that team, and I think a big stepping stone year for the Bengals for their future.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that those three teams that you guys have been saying, Steelers, Ravens, Browns, are obviously at the top. I think Browns and Ravens are just slightly above Steelers, but it's real slight, I think. I think really any of those teams can win the division, depending on how the division games go, obviously. Bengals, I think it could be a huge U-turn if they even get 5-6 wins this year. I think that's huge for them to turn that around, and hopefully Joe Burrow can stay healthy and boost up that offensive line. Going into just teams, though, in general, I want to talk about the Browns first. Baker Mayfield, obviously, is probably who this is resting on. And I saw something about his touchdown and interceptions since 2018 when he entered. In 2018, he had 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. 19, he had 22 touchdowns and 21 interceptions. And last year, he had 26 and 8. So which Baker Mayfield do you guys think we're going to see this season?
I think 1,000%. You look at just the Browns in the past couple of years since Baker's gotten there. He's had 3 or 4 different head coaches. Obviously, with the first year with Kevin Stefanski, and I think Kevin Stefanski's offense is really what helped his numbers. Mayfield showed last year he could do it, no problem. I think that's what we're going to see again, just because mainly based off of Kevin Stefanski. I don't think that it's necessarily just Baker. I think it's just that the other coaches from the past, it just didn't work out. But I think I think he keeps it up. But that might be a OU guy talking about Baker. But I mean, why not? They have so many weapons all over the place. What's going to stop them? I don't know. OBJ's coming back. I think personally, it's easily for me the 2020 Baker is what we're going to see.
Dom, what about you?
I think honestly, I think this might be the best Baker we've seen. I feel like he's might incline this year, and I feel like this could be the best Baker we've seen in the NFL. I think he's kind of ready to take another step in his career. You know, he had a pretty decent year last year, and I think the stability his team has had last year, where it's like this is the year, or last year was the year where they were the least talked about or the least controversial in the past in his career, I guess. I think that
Yeah.
stability and consistency of last year, I think he's just going to, it's got to be a confidence booster, and how they finish the season. I just think he's going to have a better year this year than he's had so far in the NFL.
They don't have to rely on him at all because there's so many ways they can score, and I think that helps his numbers too. Just because he doesn't have to feel pressure. What pressure do you have? You got a great running back in the backfield, a great offensive line, great receivers. There's no reason for him to feel any pressure. Like, to be honest with you.
And they made moves. I mean, I don't know if you want to transition to it yet, but like their defense is good still. I mean, they made a decent amount of moves this year.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Their additions that I think were most notable was Tack McKinley was a huge pickup, Troy Hill at corner, and I know Jadeveon too at edge. So to have Jadeveon even next to, not next to, but on the other side of Myles Garrett, that's going to be huge. And Tack, I think, is underrated too. I think Tack is a great defense lineman. So
Malik
to have
Jackson
that,
too.
yeah. I just think that defense is definitely picked up, and they're top defense in the league, and I don't think they're going to be messed with, to be honest.
And a
The
little
team
bit
overall is just good.
underrated. They signed Anthony Walker, which is a linebacker from the Colts, and he was a very, very good, underrated IQ linebacker guy. I think that'll be a nice little addition for them.
They did just extend Nick Chubb, superstar running back, on a 3-year extension, $36 million, I believe it was.
36, yeah.
I don't know. I don't mean Jacob. We were talking about it earlier. Maybe should be a little higher in money. Maybe he deserves a little more, being at the top 5 running back, top 6, whatever you want to put him.
I kind of looked at it, and his numbers aren't like far off. It's really not that bad of a, I think, contract. Honestly, I think it's a contract that I think he deserves it. I think he's like 7th highest or 6th highest paid running back, and I mean, I think that makes it about right. And honestly, if he wants to win games with that team, he doesn't need to be highest paid running back, and I don't think he seems like that kind of guy. So I think it's good.
100%. What are your guys' kind of like wrapping up the Browns? What are your guys' expectations for them? How far do you think they might go? And maybe a win-loss if you guys want to take a crack at that and take a guess.
You want to go first, Tom, or?
I'll go first. I expect, like I said before, I expect a good season out of Baker, and I know stuff is very reliant on that, or at least people like to put the pressure on him. I think he's going to have a good season. I think their team's going to be a very stable team again this year, and a consistent team again this year. I got to think they probably, with this extended schedule now, I know it's only, one game more, right?
Yeah, 1 game more, yeah.
Nonetheless, I think they put up 12 wins this season. I do think they put up 12 wins. I know their division's very competitive, and I haven't really looked at their schedule, but just without looking at their schedule, if they have an average schedule, I think they put up 12 wins.
I'm pretty much there with you. I'm gonna be honest. I have been kind of big on the Browns since they got Baker, and that's just because Oklahoma. But they've made huge strides, obviously, very obviously. I think that whole team, like, all together, is just great talent everywhere. Kevin Stefanski proved he's a great coach last year. I see them going like 13-3. We have 17 games this year.
No. 17, yeah.
Okay.
Because you can't go 8-8 anymore. So
yeah, I'll go 14 wins. 14-3.
Damn.
I think that's a great team. 14-3.
See, I'm kind of going
to have it down, and they're gonna kill people.
I'm kind of going between you guys, and I hate to just say, I'm the middleman, but I think 13 is a probably solid number for them this season. I think, and it's crazy with this division, is that 13 you're thinking, they're running away with the division. Surely, I think these other 2 teams that we're going to bring up soon in a second are 12-11 in my opinion. Like I think they're really freaking close, and injuries and stuff can happen. So I think really this division is up for grabs. But I got the Browns. Hopefully, I think expectations. I think for me are 13 wins and a playoff run. You got to have something in the playoffs. I think so. Going on to the next team, let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens. I know Dom's one of his favorite teams, so we'll let Dom start out. What are your thoughts on the Baltimore Ravens going to 2021, Dom?
I kind of feel like the Ravens are going to decline a little bit. I think they had the magic season that they had. I don't think they're going to decline under double-digit wins, but I think they're going to be the third team in this division, to be honest. People expected the magic to happen last year, and it didn't. Or at least certainly not as much. It didn't get them where it got them the year before.
No.
I think this team just takes a step back. I think it's hard to replicate the year that they had, and to have that expectation for them again is not just simply, it's unrealistic. The team's still good. By all means, it's still good. It's still going to compete in this division. It's still going to compete in the AFC, and they still might make playoffs. But the league seems like it's getting competitive. And when you talk about these AFC teams that we're going to talk about in the future, not even in this division, there's a lot of good teams. And I just think they're going to take that step back. I think it's really the same team we see last year. And they're just going to play more competitive teams.
Yeah, I was literally thinking the same thing. I don't want to say the team just kind of like busts or just goes down the drain, but I think they take a big step back. And I think Lamar Jackson, like you said, had that great year. And I don't think it's completely his fault, obviously, but I think all of that hype is gone. Unless they're doing some under the radar stuff, just hyping their team up. I don't see them having that sort of momentum going into the season. I say they're probably a 9, maybe a 10-win team, in my opinion. But no, I think they took a step back. They picked up a receiver. I can't remember who it was.
Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a big point that I was gonna make. Is it still seems like Sammy Watkins is a questionable guy. He just played with Patrick Mahomes for however many years, and he didn't entirely excel. So
yeah. I think he's throwing the ball to Travis Kelce and Tyreek, but still,
well, yeah, absolutely.
Still
But
Patrick Mahomes.
He coverage was looking at Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and stuff. It's
Mecole Hardman. I mean, they had receivers he should have. Well,
it's tough. It's tough. It's tough.
And I'm honestly, Lamar Jackson is not throwing the ball like Patrick Mahomes is. If I'm being, this is kind of a hot take. I think I don't know if I see Lamar Jackson starting. Like they're gonna at some point bench him. At some point, I just see it. I don't know what it is. I think it's just kind of the hype that's just kind of gone away, and so I think it'll just kind of fade and trickle down until they decide it's Trace McSorley's time. I guess I don't even know if they have anybody better than that. But I don't know. I hate saying that because like Lamar Jackson, great athlete. I don't hate the guy. I don't know. It's just gone for me.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm on the same boat, and I just feel like this Ravens hate train. I don't want to call it a hate train. I just think that the players that they lost to this offseason, Matthew Judon's gone, Yannick Ngakwe's gone, Matt Skura, their center's gone. I just feel like they have a lot of losses, and really they just added Sammy Watkins, Kevin Zeitler from the Giants, I think, too. But I just don't see their additions going over their losses to me.
They lost Orlando Brown, which, I mean, Lamar could just run away, but...
Yeah, that's facts. But I just feel like their losses are just too big for this team, and I think they're a 10-win team to me. That's a good season. I don't
not
think they're a
bad
bad team. But compared to the other two, I think that we'll probably bring up is I just don't think they're on that level anymore, which is kind of crazy because I do feel like they've had a special season and felt like they've had a special team together. So
another thing is
overall,
a 10-win season or a 10-win team this season could easily not make playoffs. I feel like
100%. Yeah.
So
overall expectations and record guesses for the Ravens. Whoever wants to start.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I feel like this team is kind of stagnant. I think that's the word to use. It's stagnant. It's kind of plateaued. They had the magic season, and then they declined from there. And I feel like this team is going to get boring fast, which is crazy to say because they were the most exciting team in the league 2 years ago. But I feel like it's just, like I said, I feel like they're just stagnant. And I feel like they're not necessarily going to get worse, but other teams are going to get better around them and surpass them. So, like you guys said, I mean, I said double-digit wins, but not anywhere near what they were 2 years ago. So I think 10 wins is kind of the benchmark for this team right now, for me. And the way you guys were sounding, I'm sure it's not going to be that much
It's
different.
kind of like kidding. No, I'm thinking even 9 is kind of where I'm at with it. I think I don't know, man. I feel bad. I just do because it's like I feel like it is kind of a hate thing, Like it's just like everybody's hating on them, whatever. Hopefully they prove us wrong, I don't, I'm not against that, but it's just when you look at it, and just because you could think this way, I'm gonna have pity and just not say it. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel. 9 wins just seems like it for me.
Yeah.
See, to me, I feel like with the extended season, a 9-8 team just does not sound good to me now.
It doesn't sound good.
That's like
extended
500.
Losses, yeah, that just sounds.
If you got 9 wins, you were 9-7, and that sounds pretty good. That sounds like a
okay.
decent team in the NFL. 9-8, that doesn't feel that good to me anymore. So I really think that the extended season kind of makes it sound worse. But I think my expectations, I think they're close in the race. I think they're going to get 10 wins. But I think that you've got some work to do. They're stagnant, like Dom said. I think that's a great word to describe this team. Just you got to figure some stuff out, maybe get some more excitement back, because I do think they were really exciting to watch, and I think defenses have just figured out how to play Lamar. And once you figure out how to play Lamar, you'll be all right, to be honest, against them. So once you do that, I think you're kind of solving the Ravens algorithm, if you will. Going through the rest of the division, halfway through, we got the Steelers up next. Kind of just your overall lookout on the Steelers this season, Jacob?
I think I hate to go against Big Ben, and I think that's why I put them above the Ravens. I've got them going. I'm saying 11 wins. I think that their defense is obviously going to hold up. I said it earlier. The Steelers' defense is going to hold up. It always does for the most part. Big Ben, I think Juju and Chase Claypool, not bad receivers. They're just not great receivers. And so I think together, and obviously they still have James Conner, I assume. They have, Najee Harris. Let's talk about Najee Harris. They don't have James Conner at all?
I think James Conner's gone, and what I'm seeing here. Notable losses, it says they got Bud Dupree's out
Cardinals.
of there, Marquise Pouncey's out of there, James Conner's out of there.
Cardinals? Right?
But they do have Najee Harris, I think, Rookie of the Year, low-key. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. I'm up there with that.
Yeah.
He's going to be good. He's going to be really good.
Running back for sure.
No, I like that team. Mike Tomlin's obviously a great coach. Big Ben, they basically have 2 really good coaches out there because Big Ben knows what he's doing. So I like the Steelers, at least above the Ravens and the Bengals, of course. 7-6, where I'm at with that.
Tom, what about you?
Yeah, they released David DeCastro because I think because of injury, David DeCastro is going to retire. I don't know if that's official, but I know they released him and signed Trey Turner in place of David DeCastro, and to be honest, that's a phenomenal replacement. Trey Turner played for the Panthers, and he was a great guard. And David DeCastro is quite a name in Pittsburgh, or has been for years. So I think, although they're going to be missing him, it's just replaced. And like you guys said, Najee Harris is really the big name here, I think, for this team. Other than that, I mean, this team is just... I think they're not taking any step back whatsoever from last year. I'm not the most confident about that. I know I just said that, but I'm not the most confident. I just need to see them play. Like, I just want to see what they look like week 1, But it's overall just like the same team. Juju re-signed. So they have the same receivers. And Big Ben likes those receivers. He likes the group, and screw it. They're going to want to use Najee. And I know Big Ben had some words about Najee. I saw him say stuff a couple weeks ago about how he's excited about how Najee is. He's like, this guy is the best receiver or best running back I've seen play for us, kind of thing. He said. I'm excited for what that guy has to do. I think he's gonna fit in perfectly on this team. I really do.
Damn.
Yeah, I think that the Steelers are a solid team. The only thing that's still kind of with me is their run last year. I mean, you were 11-0, and then you did not do anything in the playoffs. I mean, you were a playoff bust, to be honest. You ended up 12-4. I think they ended up.
Yeah.
It's not a good. That's not a good end. You're
Choked.
11-0. You
That
need
is
to
the
finish.
definition of a choke.
You need to finish your season out and show that you're a dominant team. But they couldn't do it at the end of the season, and they looked bad in playoffs too. So I just feel like that just doesn't sit well with me, and I don't think they're going to be a bad team by any means, but I think they've got work to do and to show that 11-0 wasn't a fluke and they can be a dominant team. I think the defense is super good this year, and I think that they can be one of the best defenses in the division pretty easily, I think. Re-signed Juju. They had apparently added 4 total offensive linemen this season. Don't know how that's possible, but they added 4 linemen. Chiefs, I think, did the same thing. So re-signed Alualu as well, defensive lineman, and Chris Wormley as well. So, I mean, they got defensive guys back. So hopefully they can bring that defensive power back and see where it goes. Hopefully Ben can – I know short passes were kind of his thing at the end of the year and getting tired, I think. But see how he goes.
There's Najee, so.
Yeah, Najee Harris, that's a good point. That's what I want to bring up too. Najee Harris, I think, for me at least, is solid running for Rookie of the Year. I don't know if he's going to win it, but he's definitely up there in the conversation. And I think that he can definitely help out this team and take some pressure off of Big Ben, hopefully, in the passing game. And I think he's going to have a great season, to be honest with you. Playoff wins, I'm probably giving him – I want to say more than the Ravens. I gave the Ravens 10 wins, but I'm probably just going to go 11 or 12. I think I'm going to go 12. I think they're still a solid team, so I'll go 12 with expectations. They're just going to be behind the Browns. Maybe get a wild card spot. Maybe they can make a playoff run with that. But I think the Browns are taking this division and showing that they're not back because they've never been there, but they could take this division. So, Dom, what are your expectations for them?
We didn't mention it. Melvin Ingram signed with them as well not too long ago.
Right.
Which is crazy because their defensive pass rush and just run defense is already phenomenal. TJ Watt, Stephon Tuitt, Cam Hayward, they're just stacked. And Melvin Ingram's another guy that's reasonably great. So that's another part of this team. I just think me and Jake talk about identity a lot when it comes to hockey. And the teams with identity, and they know their identity, and they've had a consistent identity, always seem to just, you can rely on them. And they usually just keep it together, do better throughout an entire season, playoffs and whatnot, right? And the Steelers, especially in this division, they've had an identity for so long. It's never wavered. As long as Big Ben is behind center, you know what you're getting from this team. And I think you're just going to see it again. You know, this is, I think, another at least 12-win team right now, I think, again. So that's what it is for me. I just like the consistency and the identity of this team. They're the only team in this division that's stayed true to that from what it was 10 years ago, where they had the toughest defenses in the league, and they were just mean. And this team is still like that, just with kind of maybe some more explosiveness at this point. So, yeah. Jacob?
No, I'm up there at 11, I think, is the ones that I have them getting. I think their defense really helps them out throughout the entire year. I think that they keep offenses from scoring really well. And so I think on the other side of the ball, obviously, Big Ben's going to take care of it. I mean, he's gonna score you points. You're not going to get points when you're the Steelers. It's hard, to go against that. I think that's a good – I want to say that's a good football team. Sure. I don't see a lot of weaknesses except for maybe receiver. But I don't think it's unrealistic for them to go off and maybe get 13 or 14, honestly. I think it's unrealistic. Just because of the defense. I love that defense, to be honest with you. What is there not to like about that defense?
Yeah.
They're really good.
100%.
Going on to the last team and probably the last place. Surely, if it's not, I think it's a surprise at this point if they don't get last in this division. Cincinnati. Jacob, what is your thoughts on Cincinnati? Joe Burrow coming back from injury, even drafting his wide receiver. So T. Higgins, talk about that.
I think Joe Burrow, when he played last year, did great for the games that he did play in. He did great with the bad offensive line. He did great with AJ Green. Who else do they have? That Tyler Eifert? I don't know.
They had AJ Green. Yeah, I think they lost AJ Green though.
Yeah,
Ross,
that
but-
no AJ Green now.
I mean-
Yeah. Tyler
and John
Eifert's on Jacksonville,
big loss, but-
Jacksonville?
I
Yeah,
think.
Tyler
I don't
Eifert.
know. Regardless, I don't know. Honestly, I like Joe Burrow. I think that's a team that's going to come up. I'm hoping, at least for Joe Burrow's sake. They have a really young coach. Might hurt them. It probably will hurt them, to be honest with you. That offensive line, I'm pretty sure they replaced a lot of it, if not all of it. And so the defense, they have Jesse Bates, who top safety in the league. He's great player. I'm going to give them 6 wins.
Damn,
6
you're hopping
wins.
right into it. 6 wins, huh?
Yeah. I just don't know what else to. I feel like there's not much to say about him. You just kind of expect, hey, Joe Burrow's good. That's the highlight of their team right now. You know, other than that, it's just hopefulness. I think they win games, 6 of those, and I think all of those are probably shootouts. Yeah.
Dom, what are your thoughts on him?
Dude, I'm just looking at this depth chart. I'm looking at what they've done this offseason, and it's hard for me to be optimistic about this team. It really is. That's so sad to say, but it's kind of true. As far as their defense goes, it's not favorable. You know, like how do you win any of the games against your division rivals? You have the Ravens, you have the Steelers, you have the Browns, and these defenses, or this defense, I can't see stopping any of those offenses any of the 6 times. That's 6 losses right there alone, you know, and it's tough. They would have to just absolutely go off on offense and stay super healthy because the depth isn't there. It's tough. I mean, cool. We might see Jamar Chase have some fun times. We might see T. Higgins have some more fun times and whatnot, right? Tyler Boyd will consistently run great routes and catch the ball. I don't know what's going to happen between him and Burrow. I kind of see that phasing out over time, if not this year, just because Burrow has T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Those are dudes that are his age, and he's had Jamar Chase before. He's going to be excited to throw to those guys. Tyler Boyd is cool and all, but, you know, that's an older school guy on this team. I don't know how that's going to go. Their running back depth isn't the best. It's so tough to tell. I can't see them winning more than 6 games, like Jacob said. It's sad. It is sad. And they're in such a terrible division to be an up-and-coming young team, you know. But what are you going to do?
I just want Joe Burrow to do good. That's all I want. He had such a good season with a bad team last year, like statistically.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I want him to
absolutely.
be good.
And I think they'll have fun. Like I think they'll have some fun times, even though they're going to lose. I think they'll have some highlights between him and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I'm sure they will. The stats might be there a little bit, but I think end of the day, they're not really competitive.
I feel like Jacob knows this more than anybody. I like thinking about the other side of this argument, and that I think the Bengals' expectations for the season are very, very low, and that I think that they could maybe surprise some people with more wins. That being said, I think they're getting 8 maximum. I think it's probably more likely they get 6 or 7, like you guys are saying. But I wouldn't be surprised if they get 8. I feel like the expectations for this very young team, I think at this point, are just really low. And that's why I think that maybe they could surprise some people and win a couple more games than everybody thinks. But I just think that
Or they can go on 17.
They could. But I just think that hopefully with Joe Burrow returning, you do still have Joe Mixon, and his value I think is still high. Those young wide receivers, hopefully in the room with Joe Burrow and learning their playbooks and everything like that. So I think that if you can get those guys going and protect Joe Burrow, I think it's not a bad team. It's just super young and they need to learn some stuff. So I think once they get that done and get that all figured out, they're not bad. But as of right now, they got developing to do. I think that's their biggest problem. So once they do that and get that done, 6 wins, 7 wins, they're down there. I believe that wraps up the AFC North. We're gonna hop over to the other conference now, NFC North. That would be, just to recap for you guys in case nobody listeners, you guys forget, it is Packers, Lions, Vikings, Bears. I don't think it definitely wasn't in that order. Last season, Packers were 13-3, Bears were 8-8, Vikings were 7-9, and the Lions were 5-11. So kind of even.
Bad division.
Yeah, kind of Bears and Vikings in the middle there with each other. Packers at the top, Lions very far below. So kind of a lopsided, I would say. Kind of also even, I feel like, with two teams in the middle. Guy at the top, guy at the bottom. But let's start with the Packers. Let's just start first place, go down from there. Outlook on the Packers. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers did get his contract reworked, so he will be playing this season with the Packers. So that's good to hear so that we can actually think about that and recap. Jacob, what are your thoughts on the Green Bay Packers?
I think the Packers, they picked up Randall Cobb. That's good for Aaron Rodgers. There's some chemistry there already.
Back, yep.
That's good. I think that team, I don't know. I think it could go two different ways. Because we already saw the press conference with Aaron Rodgers. We know that this man does not feel good about that team. Like, he probably feels fine with the team. It's just organization. And so I think at any given moment in the season, that could combust. That could really just go to crap. And maybe he leaves midseason or something like that. And that's just me thinking, what ifs and stuff like that. But I think it's a great team as long as they can stay. That's cool. I don't want them to turn into like the Steelers, 2018 Steelers with Le'Veon. I just like locker room problems, maybe. Hopefully not. I think the players on the Packers respect that Aaron Rodgers is like doing what he is. I think some players could see that as a disrespect thing too, though. Is the fact that this guy doesn't think we're good enough to play with him. Like receivers aside from Devontae Adams, probably thinking, well, you got me, but you just don't throw it to me. You throw it to Devontae all the time. Get open, I guess. But I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking in my head, this team could just not work well together for some reason because of the drama. I'd like to think Aaron Rodgers is professional enough to keep it on the field. Or off the field, I guess you'd say. So I think it's a good team, though. Overall, because of Aaron Rodgers.
Dom, what are your thoughts?
It's you got to think Aaron Rodgers being behind center, they're going to do good, right? And that's just it. I think they will, but it's tough because it's kind of maybe the last season of that, And I know we're focused on this season right now. That's what we're talking about, but that's rough. I think they have a good season. Yeah, Packers. This is like the last hurrah. It's going to be a good team. Probably win their division.
I think they should.
That division's so bad.
They should easily win this division. I think at this point, though, for the Packers, in my opinion, I think it's Super Bowl or bust for them. You have your MVP, Aaron Rodgers. You need to hoist a trophy in order to keep him and maybe back some stuff up and get some draft picks then or do something. But I think if you don't win a Super Bowl with him, I think he's probably going to be leaving after this season. Either retire, which he's talked about, I know, in the offseason, and go to Jeopardy or something, which I think would just be crazy. And MVP quarterback just leaving after 2 seasons or 2 seasons after an MVP season. That's just crazy to me. But it's really just the organization at this point. I mean, they need to make Aaron Rodgers happy. And I think the only reason you're going to make him happy at this point, he wants to win a Super Bowl. The man wants to win the big trophy at the end of the season. Sorry. And I think as long as they can do that this season, which obviously it's a tough road in the season and playoffs, we know that. But if they can do that, I think they can keep him and somehow keep this together. I don't know how they've kept it together, if I'm being honest with you. I really thought Aaron Rodgers was out of there and leaving and going somewhere. But he stayed and they've kept it together. So if they can get this season together, they did re-sign Aaron Jones, which I think is sick for them to do. Solid running back for them last year, the season before. It's been underrated in my opinion. So I think that with Aaron Rodgers behind center, like you guys have both said, they're going to win games. You're guaranteed. It's Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. You're going to win games. It kind of doesn't matter what the rest of the team looks like, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Not that they're bad. I think if it was a dumpster fire, it's different, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
You're still going to win games.
I don't think I see, even if they win the Super Bowl, I don't think I see Aaron Rodgers coming back. I just don't.
No.
I think retirement sounds like something to me that he might consider after winning a Super Bowl, but then also you got to think, why would he retire after winning a Super Bowl? So, no, I don't see him coming back at all. It's done.
To the NFL, you're saying to the team in general?
To the team. Definitely not the team. Possibly the NFL.
Got it. So what are your guys' expectations? What do you want to see them do in the season? What do you think they should be able to do? And a record guess. Dom, you go ahead and start out.
Man, maybe 12 wins, maybe 13 again. I want to say that everything's good all season, right? Like they kind of put it behind them just so they can play. I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants controversy, but it still could happen. You know, I feel like at this point, if the organization or the head coach tries to step in at all, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't like it, I don't even know what's going to happen. You know, I feel like that entire organization has to be walking around on eggshells the entire season with Aaron Rodgers, you know? Because Aaron Rodgers has basically made up his mind. I feel like he's not playing for this team next year, no way. But
No.
he's still playing with the dude, and he's your best hope at a Super Bowl. So you just sit back and listen to the guy, kind of think, you know, which is not good for an organization, not good for a GM, not good for a head coach. That is as toxic as it gets in sports, is when a player decides what's going on with the team. But this is Aaron Rodgers, and like I said, he's your best chance at a Super Bowl right now and for the years to come. So I think you just got to do it.
So that's why I do think that it does become toxic when a player can control everything. Yeah. And then, like you said, from an organization standpoint, if this is your MVP guy, this is, you know, he's Hall of Famer, he's going there. There's no question about it. You're going to do whatever he wants, or you should, in my eyes at least. Yeah, you need to just suck it up, and he wants somebody to go get him. And I think that's probably what happened with Randall Cobb. Surely that's what happened. So I feel like at that point, you know it's Aaron Rodgers, you know it's Tom Brady, you know it's Brett Favre, whatever it is. Not Brett Favre probably, but an MVP guy, Hall of Famer guy, you're going to listen to him. So LeBron James has done that in basketball. I know Dom was talking about it previously off podcast, but hockey kind of happens quite a bit too. So I feel like it's just
never works out in hockey, but yeah.
Jacob, what do you think about their record, and what are you thinking?
I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's going to win games. I think that's a 13-win team. Maybe even more, because that division is just not good. And like you said, Super Bowl or bust. He's leaving after this year. Get what you can now. Do what you can to win the Super Bowl now. Because regardless of what happens, I don't care if you win the Super Bowl. This isn't college football. You're not going to get recruits just because, you know, he's not wrong in what he said. Go to Green Bay to play with him. You know, that was your recruiting pitch, Aaron Rodgers. And so I think that regardless of how the season goes this year, even if they win the Super Bowl, they're probably declining because that pick with Jordan Love was just not smart at all. That's when you really probably pissed them off.
Going on to the next team, falling behind them last season was 8-8 Chicago Bears. Dom, what are your thoughts on the Chicago Bears going into this season?
I don't know. This is a very different team than we saw last year.
Can I say some additions and minuses real quick? They lost Trubisky, Cordero Patterson, Markevius Mingo, Kyle Fuller, and they added Andy Dalton, Super Bowl MVP, Damian Williams, Desmond Trufant, Mario Edwards, Artie Burns, Jermaine Ifedi, O-lineman, Cairo Santos, kicker, and Pat O'Donnell, punter. I just feel like it's a completely different team. They really did kind of rebuild this. So, Tom, go ahead.
Real quick, sorry. Yeah. Damian Williams did not win Super Bowl MVP. He should have.
I was going to say
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes got it, but Damian should have gotten it. I mean, Patrick also deserved it, but anyway.
Damian won the game. But anyways, Tom, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what Damian Williams does on this team because Montgomery was great last year. He kind of carried them at the end of the season a little bit, and that's your number one running back. So Damian Williams, he'll just be your number two. I'm gonna bet money they start the season with Andy Dalton as the starting quarterback. Um, I'm not even sure. I've heard nothing out of Chicago whatsoever. So I don't know what their plan is, and I have no clue. But I don't know, man. This defense is still okay. Without Kyle Fuller, that's a little bit of a loss, but I think they're fine for the most part. Um, I don't know. You don't know what you're getting from this team offensively at all. Allen Robinson's still phenomenal.
Still getting screwed.
A little bit. I don't know.
But
I think Justin Fields starts week 3. I don't even think.
That's what I was going to ask. How early do you think Justin Fields will start? I think that's a good question because this team is very question mark, I feel like, and kind of unknown.
You have nothing to lose.
Figure that out first.
You have nothing to lose this season as this team. You know, I last year was bad, right? You had the magic season with Trubisky. Cool. But it's not gone well whatsoever since then. You know, this is even more of a decline than the Ravens. You know, I don't know. I don't even know what Justin Fields is going to bring to this team if he starts playing. You know, he has to be really, really explosive as a quarterback everywhere for this team to succeed that much. So I don't know. I think this is a below 500 team.
Jacob, what are your thoughts?
This division sucks. Like outside of Green Bay, it's hard to decide, like to even think about how teams are going to do. I think Justin Fields is a great college quarterback, obviously great. But no, I don't. Kind of just lost train of thought, but Justin Fields is great. I just don't see them. I guess the same. They're below 500 to me. There's not really anything intriguing, I guess, about them right now. I really lost my train of thought. I had side stuff I was ready to say. I had great points. I was so excited, and now I just forgot. But I guess essentially what Dom said. I just don't think that they're going to prove anything with. Oh, I remember now. Okay, here we go. So, sorry if that was loud. Say by the third week you think that Justin Fields will be in. I think that's probably pretty accurate to me. I think that if Andy Dalton, if he is not playing, I'd say great, they're going to put in Justin Fields. I think if they're not at least 2-1 by week 3, like if they have to have a winning record by week 3, I even think even at that point they might even throw in Justin Fields just because they're ready to get the ball rolling on greatness, you know. So I don't know. There's not a lot of defense. Well, I'm saying every team wants to be great. They want. I feel like they're going to rush it. They're going to rush it.
Oh, you're calling Fields greatness for a second.
No. I'm just saying the team, the organization. They want to be great now. I'm sure, and I'm sure that's every team. But you got Khalil Mack on defense, which he hasn't done much the past couple of years. I don't think. So, that's a below 500 team to me as well.
For me, I definitely agree with you guys, and they're below 500. I think that's just a fact. But I do think that the coaching and the roster talent at the top end, I think could carry them to maybe 500. I just think the roster is kind of inconsistent at times. I feel like they're just different levels compared to. I mean, you have obviously Allen Robinson at wide receiver, and then it's a big drop off compared to who you got next. And he is the only fantasy option if you're drafting fantasy from the Bears. It's him or nobody. You better not be drafting anybody else unless it's Justin Fields and he's going off maybe. But I just feel like with this team, I feel like low-key the same as the Bengals, kind of just young, need to find their way type thing. I don't think it's injuries or bad coaching, bad organization by any means. I think it's just a learning curve and get through the season and see how it goes. I do think that Justin Fields does come in before week 5 for sure, though. I don't think they're keeping him out for very long. Going on to the next one, that would be the Minnesota Vikings. Last year they ended up being 7-9, so below 500. What are your thoughts on them, Jacob?
I don't see too much of a difference with them. Who do they have at quarterback right now? Why can I not think of
Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins?
Kirk
No,
Cousins.
okay. Now I'm thinking backup for the Browns. I always mix these guys up. Why can I not think of them?
Cook for the Browns?
Backup for the Browns.
Mike Glennon?
No. Is he even in
think
the
he
league anymore?
He was there now. I don't think. Like you're saying, he's now the backup for the Browns. Let me go look.
Now he's backup for the Browns. Case Keenum. I always get him mixed up with Kirk Cousins just because the C's, the sounds, whatever. Case. Anyway, so Alvin Cook was doing great though last season. He carries them again. Adam Thielen's there. Justin Jefferson's there. That team, they're second in the division for me. Just about. They can't be 500. I think just above 500 for me. Where they're going to be at. I don't think they're a bad team. Defensively, they still have Anthony Barr, I assume. Obvious. Cannot think of his name. Safety.
Xavier Woods.
No.
They added Xavier Woods. I know. Patrick Peterson. They also got in the offseason.
Ooh, their defense. Their secondary is good. And then I can't think of his name. Eric.
Barry?
Weddle?
You're not saying
it. Am I dumb?
Eric Weddle was a safety for the Ravens. I don't remember him being on the Vikings. I'll be honest.
I don't know. I'm looking at their transactions.
That's not what I'm thinking of. Hold on. Let me look.
Let me look up their losses here. It says Kyle Rudolph, Riley Reif, and Anthony Harris are who they lost. That's
There's somebody, bro. There's somebody. I'm telling you.
Anthony Harris is a safety. I mean, I don't think that's the one you're talking about.
Xavier Woods.
Harrison Smith.
Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. Harrison Smith. So I mean, they have a good secondary. Is what I'm trying to get at. So I think that's about a 500 team, maybe nine wins. I'm not gonna give them double digits. I don't know. They might. I don't know. They might.
What are your thoughts on the Minnesota?
What did they do last year? Do you remember?
It wasn't good. That 1 sec. 7 and just below 500.
All right. It's virtually almost the same as last year with maybe a slightly better defense. I know they signed Sheldon Richardson again. I think he'll do good on this team. And Patrick Peterson, Xavier Woods, that's a big one. I do think this team might take another step. I don't think it's going to be entirely a big step, but Justin Jefferson is out there still. I hope Adam Thielen continues to keep it consistent, because if so, then their passing game is still going to be good. I don't know. Dalvin Cook's still a good running back. I don't know. I like this team, but it's hard to say they compete for playoffs. You know?
Yeah, to me, I think the biggest thing for me, I was about to say that, is coaching. Mike Zimmer's been there for 7 or 8 years now, I think. And I think it's just kind of what you said. I don't know which team you said it about, but stagnant is, I feel like, a good word to describe the Vikings, and just that I don't know what direction they're going. I think they're kind of just at a standstill right now with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, Mike Zimmer coaching. I don't think Kirk Cousins has the ability to just elevate the offense to a whole nother level. And with the receivers and weapons that you have on offense, I feel like you need a quarterback that can do that. With Justin Jefferson having a great season last year, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, who I had in fantasy and killed it every single week in fantasy.
See, here's how I view Kirk Cousins. All right, Kirk Cousins is the most average quarterback in the entire league. Okay,
yeah.
He's gonna make mistakes, but he's not gonna make too many mistakes that you're like, okay, he's bad. All right, he's gonna throw the ball accurately, but it's not pretty when he has to scramble. He's the most average quarterback in the league. He has great games. He has bad games. He has games where he throws 100 yards. He has games where he almost touches 400 yards. And it's just...
That's what I think. The inconsistency for me is just...
But it's also consistency because you know what you're getting. You know how your season's going to go every single time with Kirk Cousins behind center. It's hard to gamble on a new quarterback when Kirk Cousins is just that average that you're going to pass the ball pretty well, but you're never going to be elite. So it's like, okay, do you take the gamble when you have nice receivers? You have Justin Jefferson. You have a good running game that supports it. Are you going to take the gamble for an elite level eventually? Or are you going to sit with probably being able to compete for playoffs and have a really average time where you're probably not going to be too frustrated? Like, it's so tough to say with Kirk Cousins because people hate on him so much. And I kind of like him. But I understand all the hate he gets. You know, like, I'm very realistic about Kirk Cousins. But it's hard to gamble on someone new.
Do we know who the backup is? Like, do we know if he's young?
I have no clue. I don't even know.
I have no clue. But I say you have a young team. You don't want to waste the young talent that you do have.
Yeah.
Draft a quarterback. Let him develop behind Kirk Cousins because, like you said, I think Kirk Cousins is not a bad quarterback. And so I think you draft a quarterback for sure.
The other thing...
Try to...
Kellen Mond is behind him and just tested positive yesterday. So
that's right.
Oh, he just got drafted. Okay, that's good. I mean, it's Kellen Mond, but not terrible. I mean,
he also has COVID, so he's probably not
somebody.
going to training camp anytime soon. But
The other thing is,
yeah.
Kirk never gets injured. Like, I don't know the last time he missed a game.
He's a big dude that he looks like, though.
What?
Large. I mean, he seems like a larger guy.
He's so average. It's so funny. Like, it's just it's the most conservative quarterback you could possibly have. It really is.
What are your expectations for them this season, Dom? And wins, obviously, too.
I don't know. I think they could touch... I think the best case scenario is they touch 11 wins. I think they can also end with 7 wins. So it kind of wavers. I guess I'll stick in between and just be like, oh, hey, they'll have a 9-8 season. I guess that's that. But they're going to have a good season, I feel like. You know, like statistically, they'll put up numbers. Justin Jefferson is going to be a top receiver in the league again. Dalvin Cook will be an absolute top running back. But, like, I don't know. I don't know if they get it done. I think their defense would need to play very explosively, which they made the moves to kind of set up for that. Xavier Woods and Patrick Peterson are both very explosive players that will put an offense back on the field. But I don't know. I don't know if they win the games. That's kind of it for them. So,
Jacob, what are your thoughts?
On their wins, yeah, I mean, he kind of said it pretty well. I for some reason, I'm up there with 11. I think that's a pretty good number. Definitely second in the division. I think that's just based off of experience and quarterback play. Running back, no, that running game is going to carry that team for sure. But when they need to pass it, they will be able to pass it. And so I've got them winning 11, maybe even 12 games. I'm going to say 11.
I just wasn't expecting that. I've got them kind of in the middle. I guess it really is the middle. I got them going 10-7. I just think that with the offensive firepower that they have with Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, a very average quarterback like Dom said, Kirk Cousins, I think really it's just the defense. The offense is there. It's going to play every game, and they should be able to produce numbers. And I think the defense made the right moves, like Dom said again, to really show out this season. I think if they have a good season, they could be a solid dark horse in the playoffs. Maybe they could make it that far and push. But I think 10 right behind Packers and get a wild card and hopefully make a push in the playoffs. But I think expectation, hopefully secure a wild card spot and see what you can do and mess things up in the playoffs. Last team, I hate to end it on such a great team, but the Detroit Lions. They won a solid 5-11 last year. They've got really nothing going for them with the trade of Matt Stafford and Jared Goff going on. So what is your outlook, Jacob, on these amazing Lions? Final team of the year.
What did they get for Matt Stafford, aside from Jared Goff? Yeah, something.
I don't think they did.
I see their additions here in the offseason.
Draft picks.
I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, they definitely got draft picks. I think it was really the only player they got pretty sure in that trade was Jared Goff, though.
Yeah, it was
It
Jared
was
Goff
almost, it
and
was
draft
almost a
picks.
straight up, yeah, and 2 draft picks. I want to say.
Okay, that's not bad. That's actually a decent trade, to be honest with you. But they're going to be bad. I mean, they're going to be really bad. I think Matthew Stafford was the only thing holding that team together. Andre Swift wasn't bad, but he wasn't that great last year. It was also his rookie season. Their defense, bad. Coaching, Matt Patricia hasn't been great. Bad, bad team.
Dom,
Sorry, but
you
bad.
got any positive outlooks on the Detroit Lions?
Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. They
Give me some
signed
positivity.
Brashad Perriman, right? I bet you he has a good season with Jared Goff. I don't know why.
Why is that? Just feeling
The
gut
way
feeling?
I just feel like that's a Jared Goff receiver.
So you can get from Dom, draft Brashad Perriman in your first round of fantasy.
No, don't even draft him at all. But just
But they did lose Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones, who were in my
They
eyes
lost
studs
Marvin
with
Jones?
injuries. Marvin Jones, yeah, that
Okay.
shows notable losses. It shows Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, and Desmond Trufant and
Bro.
Justin Coleman.
give me a second. Look at this depth. I need to look at this depth chart. I
just
didn't.
don't know where the receivers lie besides Brashad Perriman pickup.
I'm saying right now, that's the worst team in the league. That's the worst team in the league.
They're bottom 3 for sure. I don't think there's any
The
question
Jets are
about
going to
that.
be better than them. The Jets. It'll be debate between them and the Jets.
No, I think Jets are above. I think Jets are above them for sure.
Oh, they have Geronimo
no,
Allison.
dude.
Geronimo Allison, Chad Hansen, who's kind of Brashad Perriman, Tyrell Williams.
Bad.
Tyrell Williams is their number 1, realistically, which is not good. He's like a number 3, a low number 2. Brashad Perriman's like a number 3. He's gonna be their number 2. That's rough. Okay, yeah,
Hey, they're
I don't
playing
know.
for the future. I think. I don't know.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
They messed up when they let Megatron go.
The other thing is, first of all, in the entire league, how has not a team signed Kerryon Johnson? That blows my mind. Because they waived Kerryon Johnson. They no longer have Kerryon Johnson, which blows my mind because he's extremely, extremely dynamic, extremely good running back. I don't know how they committed to Swift and stuff like that quick. I don't think he's completely ready just to take on the entire team, especially this season with no receivers and a new quarterback. Jacob might be right. This might be the worst team in the league this year.
I don't see any upside to them.
I think it's just it's a start to me trading Matt Stafford, getting rid of some guys. I think it's just a long tanking is what you can call it, overhaul maybe in the future years.
Kind of.
I think it's just going to be a long process for the Detroit Lions and hopefully getting back to winning some games. It's not going to be anytime soon.
If they ever wanted to rebuild, they would have needed to get away from that Matt Stafford contract and
100%.
everything else. And they
on the correct move for sure for them, I feel like, because they were in need of a fresh start, if you want to call it that, without him. And I do think that Jared Goff is just a placeholder. I don't know what quarterbacks are behind him. I doubt there are any good or decent, but hopefully next draft they do draft one and sit under Jared Goff for maybe a couple seasons and then come in. I think that's a solid option. But you guys are spot on. They're bottom of the barrel team. They're not going to do any damage to anybody any week. They shouldn't.
I honestly feel bad for Jared Goff.
Unless your defense is, Jared Goff got the sorry end of the stick on that one.
Because, I mean, he's not a terrible, terrible quarterback.
No.
He's an okay quarterback. He was on a good team in the Rams. Now he had, like you said, placeholder. He's going to have to just.
But also the receivers on the Rams, too, I feel like, were
so much better.
A lot. And now he has a team that just traded away Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones. What? I just feel like that's a completely different situation, especially going from Los Angeles to Detroit, Michigan. I feel like that in itself is just that's a big move. So I have very, very, very low expectations for this team. I don't see them winning more than 5 games this season. If they do, it's spectacular and shouldn't have been done. I give them a solid 4 wins in my expectations. I think somehow maybe they skip around and win 4, but what do you guys think on wins, Jacob?
I'd have to look at their schedule, but 2 is where I'm at. Like, I don't see it being more than that. And I'm saying they have to play the Jets. They have to play bad teams to get those wins. I don't see them winning more than 2 games. And that's a bad team.
And you're being nice probably about that.
I really, unfortunately, I feel bad saying it, but yeah.
Yeah, I should have gone lower than 4. That's my bad. Dom, what about you?
All right, we're going to do this. Give me a sec here. Ready? Week 1, 49ers, loss. Green Bay, loss. Baltimore, loss. Chicago, week 4.
It's a loss.
Justin Fields is starting there. It's a loss.
It could be his first game starting. That could go either way.
Ooh.
I'm going to give the Lions the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give them a win, right? We're going for optimism on their schedule, all right?
Optimism, you got 1.
Okay. Chicago, the Vikings, that's probably a loss. Cincinnati, do you think that's at least a 50-50?
I think it's a 50-50, and if you want to be positive, go ahead and give it the Lions.
Okay. All right. Then we're going with possible wins.
Yep.
How about that? All right.
Yeah.
The Eagles, I think by week 8, this is week 8, I think the Eagles, I skipped the team. Oh, they play the Rams. Okay, that's funny. That's a loss.
Actually amazing.
Matt Stafford is going to go in there and put his career day against that team.
Are Lions home in that? Because I hope they are.
No, it's in LA.
It's in LA. Okay.
Yeah.
That's even cooler. But
Jared Goff's not going to have fun with that game.
No.
The Eagles, I kind of feel like they'll have enough figured out by week 8. The Eagles will have enough figured out by week 8 that they beat this team. But what do you guys think?
I agree with you.
Yeah, they're big. Eagles are winning that easily.
If they don't have it figured out, I'd be surprised, and they could get away with a loss there against the Lions.
Could. I'm still not even going to give it to them. Pittsburgh, lost. Cleveland, lost. Chicago, again, they're going to split the game. They're going to split the season 1-1. I already gave them that win. Minnesota, I low-key think they might split the season with Minnesota, but I'm not giving it to them. Denver
could be a winnable game, I think.
Not with Teddy B. Not with Teddy B. They're winning that game. Denver's winning. Arizona's going to beat them. The Falcons by week 16.
Ooh.
Falcons could be a win.
No Julio Jones. Okay, all right, let's give it to him. Screw it, right? Let's give it to him.
Screw it. Give it to him. Go ahead, Dom.
3 wins. Seahawks, that's a loss. Green Bay, week 18.
That's a loss. Is Aaron Rodgers gone?
No, hear me out. This is week 18. Green Bay might not play their starters this game.
I don't care.
Dom, be positive and join me with 4 wins, please.
Okay, that's it. That's
positive.
4 positive. That's with giving this team the benefit of the doubt.
I'm going to be honest with you. We've given them the benefit of the doubt with 4 wins. They're going 0-18. They're going to be the first team in NFL history to go 0-18, and I can't wait for it.
Green Bay,
they could.
So bad.
Green Bay's practice squad is beating the Detroit Lions. I believe that.
You don't think after 17 games? Oh no, sorry. No. After 16 games, Jared Goff can put a season together against a practice squad?
Well, I'm just thinking maybe Aaron Rodgers has a Jeopardy episode that week. I mean, maybe he's just off that week and goes has Jeopardy.
Jordan Love's that doesn't matter. You want
to see Jordan Love versus Jared Goff?
Jordan Love might win that game.
The Packers are winning.
Hey, we just gave him the benefit of the doubt.
They still got Aaron Jones.
Jacob, we're just positive people. Don't rub your negativity on the lines on us, okay?
No, Aaron Jones wouldn't be playing that game. I don't think he's playing that game.
Oh, you said starters out. That's right. Yeah. No, I still good. I don't care. Green Bay's taking
So is DeAndre Swift getting wasted? That's a good question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, he did.
Kerryon Johnson got wasted.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift is right
behind him. Megatron got wasted.
Maybe try to put up numbers on these.
I just don't know.
His career literally went away because of the Lions.
I don't know. Yeah. 2 years ago, any team in the league would have taken Kerryon Johnson. Well, not any team, but if you needed a running back,
most teams, I would say 70% of the teams probably would have.
Probably take Kerryon Johnson. I don't think he's any different now. I think he's still just as good, and no teams are going to want him. That blows my mind. I got to check this out. There's no way he's not in a team, right? I feel like I'd know, though. But, all right, carry on.
Carry on. I see what you did there. I believe that wraps it up. We've done 2 divisions today to kind of catch up and hopefully get these divisions done before the NFL season begins. Dom, what do you got people to shout out to some fans on between the benches you got going on? Anything else you got going on you want to shout out?
Yeah, Kerryon Johnson's not even on a team. That's wild. I don't know. Hockey's gonna start. We got to do some off-season stuff. We got to recap what's going on in this past off-season because the hockey off-season lasted a week. Like it all happened within a week. You know. So
Kraken, baby.
we got to recap that. Past that, it's kind of we're looking towards next season. And then to the house, here we are. We're gonna start this up. This is the first one of the next however many weeks. The next
I don't know how many weeks we got, but
25 weeks maybe. So
yeah,
that's kind of where we're at now.
Jacob,
What?
anything you got? Anything to shout out to the fans? Talk show you starting up soon. What are you guys doing?
Talk show you's starting up soon. And let me tell you, SEC, Texas.
We're back. SEC, baby. We're going.
Yeah, dude.
We can have a mega episode. Let's be real.
I am so excited for that, and I think it's great. I don't know if it's great for college football overall. What'll end up happening, I don't know. But are you going to make a lot of money? Are you going to get better recruiting?
And we're going to have a much more competitive conference that will, I think, just make us look better. Iron sharpens iron.
Make us look a lot better.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm so excited.
If you guys want to listen to college football, go visit Talk Show U. If you want hockey talk, go to Between the Benches JD. You guys can find us all on social medias, all of it there. JD Media Network as well is what we are through. You guys can.
That's right. If you're listening to this, you can watch us on Twitch when we do this live like we are right now at JD Media Network on Twitch. Or you could go on YouTube and watch these after they've been recorded, after they're live. They go on YouTube. Just look up JD Network on YouTube and you should find us. We have a few hockey episodes on there, and we're going to start with the football episodes on there. So,
yes, sir. Go ahead and follow all of our socials. You guys know where to find us. And we'll see you guys next week. I'm assuming for the east side of conferences, maybe one, maybe two. We'll decide then. But east side is coming up next.